Right now, God has ordained leaders and government officials of this world to fulfill Bible prophecy. And God's kingdom is not to be installed on earth till Jesus Christ comes back. We should never let our own human ideas or philosophies or concepts or desires or stubbornness and lies and thought processes deceive us and decide to go against what the Word of God teaches us. Don't believe the lie that by fighting this government in the New World Order that Christian can and will overthrow Satan's government and get it ready for Christ before he returns. Colossians 2:6 tells us, beware, lest anyone cheat you through philosophies and empty deceit, according to the traditions of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Christ. Brethren, we cannot allow anyone to bring unnecessary persecution on ourselves or the church by not being wise as serpents or harmless as doves. Don't put anyone at risk by raising the red flag. There is a better world coming. There is a better government coming. There is a better kingdom coming. But only those will enter and rule who follow the Lamb, who perfect 2 Chronicles 7:14, and who obey and follow and believe God's words. Joel chapter 2 tells us that an army will come in the near future with power and authority and will overthrow Satan's New World Order system. That's after the seventh trump, not before. We cannot get involved in a different doctrine or belief that's contrary to the Bible in this church. 1 Timothy 6:20 tells us to avoid the profane and vain babblings and contradictions of what is falsely called knowledge. No one should in vain spread the false doctrine and heresies and babble on that we can beat the system and fight the system and overthrow the New World Order and believe that we got them on the run and create their own place of safety. Nobody should bring poverty and persecution on themselves or other people by spreading such heresies and different doctrines among church people. It is not necessary for any one of us to give up driver's license or social security numbers or not pay taxes or arm yourself to the hilt so that you can go and fight the New World Order. God never required any one of us to do that. We are required to live a holy life and not to take the mark, take the mark of the beast. Reality is, before anyone goes out and preaches on how to beat the system and believes they can beat the system, then why haven't they done it? They should practice what they preach by starting to never use a computer or internet or cell phone because they are all tracking devices. And they should never use the money that the Federal Reserve prints to buy food or clothing because then you are helping and going right along with the system. Many of those who fight the New World Order, they contradict themselves. They embrace it on one hand and resist it on the other hand. And it's sad that many will end up in jail who claim they can fight the New World Order and beat the system. What makes this ministry so special is that it warns us about the New World Order, and it teaches us to get ready spiritually and to fight the spiritual battle. As David has mentioned on so many occasions, this ministry does not believe in fighting the carnal battle, but believes in fighting the spiritual battle like Jesus did, as it is mentioned in Ephesians 6, verses 10 through 19. No one should deceive and convince godly people to get in trouble with the law and the authorities and to create a lying spirit of pride and rebellion. How can anyone battle and fight the government and still call themselves a Christian? Don't they understand that the powers in government are ordained by God? Romans 13 verse 1 tells us to be subject to the government authorities. For there is no authority that exists which is not appointed or ordained by God. Verse 2 tells us, therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists the ordinance of God, and those who resist will bring judgment on themselves. If anyone teaches and leads others to resist the government official that God ordained, then they are resisting God. They are basically saying, I dare you, God. I can beat your plan, your ordinance, and your leaders and your system that you put in charge. Brethren, We need to be the light of the world, to show others the right way to live by respecting and praying for our government and its leaders, which God himself ordained and put in office, even though it may be corrupt. 2 Corinthians 2, verse 11, warns us, "Be careful lest Satan should take advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Be careful. When you listen to teachers, those on radio and internet who tell lies and fables and deceive the masses, those with itching ears, by saying, "We got the New World Order on the run. We got them scared. They are shaking in their boots. We can fight them and win." Exactly the opposite of what God's words teaches. That's why it's a doctrine of demons. God says the New World Order will happen. Satan has been given power over every nation and every tongue. So don't fight the New World Order. Why fight against that which we know will come true in the latter days?